everybody. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Please just be quiet so we can start. So I'm Amelia Tomasichio, the moderator of this panel. I'm a journalist. I run Cryptonomist, which is a Swiss media about all the topics we all like. So the Web3, blockchain, NFTs, Metaverse, and so on. I'm very happy to moderate this panel about the future, about how society is changing thanks to technology. So we will speak about Metaverse, but not only. So I would like to start with a quick run, so you can please introduce yourself.
Sure, awesome. Hi, everyone. Very nice to meet you. My name is Nikita Sachdev. I'm the CEO and founder of Luna PR and Luna Media Corp. Nothing to do with Luna Terra. We've been around since been around since 2017. We're a leading PR agency and focused on Web3, headquartered in Dubai, second largest office here in London. I'm from Texas. Started my crypto career with Huobi Exchange, now HTX. And very excited to be on this panel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tutova. I'm CEO of Coinstelegram. We have a group of companies, a news media website, as well PR marketing agencies. So we help companies in the space with the promotion. And as well, we produce documentaries, films about Web3. And soon we are releasing our new documentary with Vitalik Buterin, Yatsiu, Animoca Brands, Palladino, CEO Teza, and many other leaders of the industry. And we'll be having a premiere in Dubai on 21st October. So if you're there, welcome to join our event. And excited about our conversation on Metaverse and spatial computing.
Good afternoon, everyone. Andrea here. I'm the CEO of Impact Foundry. We are a venture studio and a strategic consultancy. We also run one of the leading communities here in London for Web3, the Web3 Club, in collaboration with Barclays Rise. Excited to be here and looking forward to share some thoughts with the panelists.
Hey, all. Hello? Yeah, working. Okay. Hey, so a lot of you know me as one of the organizers of Ethereum London. But I'm also the founder of a perfume DAO. This little bottle here was made by a DAO. If you don't know what a DAO is, you can think of it like just a conglomerate of people, like a co-op, just crypto. We made one perfume. That perfume is now available in Harvey Nicks. And I'm here today announcing the fact that we're opening up the DAO to new members so we can launch First 2, our second iteration.
Thank you so much. So the first question is for all of you. How do you believe technology will change how we interact in the digital, but also in the physical world?
Should I start? You start? Ladies first.
They're shy.
Well, I think question is, it's not really how it will. It is already changing the lives that we live every day. I guess all of you felt some days we're living in a Black Mirror episode. And I think, if you want to see how the future is going to unfold, just go watch Netflix, really. That's what's going to happen. But, I do believe personally there is one mega trend that is happening already, is hyper-personalization. We do live in a world of data. With the rise of AI, this data can be used to favor business growth, more targeting of users, people having access to better information. So I think this is really what is going to drive everything. All the rest is going to be partly a byproduct of that. So.
I think I would like to narrow it down a little bit more into how Web3 technology would change our everyday lives, because, of course, technology has been a big part of the last century. And the fourth industrial revolution is that one of technology. But more so, Web3 technology specifically is making a huge impact. And Web3 technology consists of blockchain, of big data, of AI. It's such a big mix of different types of technology. And just like Andrea said, it is already integrated into our lives today. From blockchain where I live in Dubai, and I give this example quite often. You go through the airport, you don't need to scan your passports because that technology is already on the blockchain. but we don't need to know about it because it's seamlessly integrated into our everyday lives. To recent stablecoin, AED dirham-backed stablecoin, which we announced, to even into in my agency, the use of AI, not just to create content, of course, ChatGPT, but things like putting CVs through AI, CVs being able to kind of resumes or CV, I don't know how you guys say it in London, but what are the traits of like successful CVs, and kind of narrowing it down to that. So we're implementing technology so much to already, like, self-driving cars. Elon Musk said this morning that that Tesla is not just it's an automotive company, it's an AI company, right? So it's already there around us in our everyday lives and being integrated seamlessly.
I agree with the said above, and that the technology is already changing our lives a lot. And if to talk about specifically Metaverse and spatial computing, I would say Metaverse is some kind of quite a buzzword. Like everybody just calls nowadays just a normal game a Metaverse. And even we saw the example with Facebook, which was rebranded to Meta just because of the big narrative about the Metaverse, but basically it remains the same. They have like some products launches, like digital avatars and etc. But literally it's the same website. So basically we have been always present online, and our presence online, especially with the younger generation, is bigger and bigger. So we see the societal shift from being present offline to be present more online, and it differentiates the interaction between people and how people meet currently online. They can communicate with each other, and their location doesn't matter at all. So from one hand, it makes our lives easier, but from the other hand, it as well makes quite a distance between people when they meet in the real life. And second, big use of the technologies, and especially of Metaverse, I see in the industrial complex. We see that different factories can make the prototypes of what they're building, like in the digital formats, using VR, augmented reality, and so on. So I see a big future in that, but basically we don't really need a blockchain for those Metaverse prototypes.
I'm really interested in what we do with our data. We know what big companies do with our data. We have an opportunity to discover for ourselves what we can do with our data. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And what are the most significant society changes you can anticipate? So not only about extended reality use, spatial computing, Metaverse, NFT, blockchain, and all the buzzword,
So I'll go. I think when we're specifically speaking about the Metaverse and spatial computing, one of the best case studies that I guess appealed to me as someone who studied pre-med is probably how it's affecting the medical industry. It's incredible how doctors can now not just use robotics to perform surgeries, which has kind of been around and don't have to worry about shaky hands anymore, but also kind of get a better idea of like what they're performing, the surgeries they're performing, or the complexities through spatial computing, because they're getting just a real life kind of experience through digitally. So that's a very important case study. I think the other thing that's very important and aligns with me is we have a foundation. It's called Luna Foundation, where we educate girls in India. And some of them just don't have access to classrooms, but it's interesting because in India, everybody has access to a smartphone. So it got to a point where when I went to the slums to visit the girls, in the schools, the slums like tiny, like everyone can't fit into one classroom, but they all have access to smartphones, so they can access classrooms virtually. They can get the same opportunity as someone would attending Oxford. So I feel like the educational component is very important.
Can I just spice things up? Because I like Anna's angle on most of the stuff can actually be done away from the metaverse. Like, we don't really need that. At Impact Foundry, we did do some feasibility studies for major brands that wanted to explore the space, to then realize that actually it's kind of useless because there is absolutely no proposition, no value add. And I have to say, this is one of the themes I've seen this morning as well, coming up a lot. Different panels. Like, there isn't really a value add that users can find yet, unless you're a gamer specifically or like someone that is in a specific niche. So if back to your question, like, how do you see society changing? If we focus on metaverse, I think no change right now and probably not for the next few years. Then if you want to talk about data instead, and how, again, what you just described about how doctors use these solutions, right? As much as they do, others do as well in different industries. There is such a new generation of new data, new information. So what is the effect of these, for example, in privacy, in other areas, ethics, is law covering, is it not, regulation? So it opens a whole other Pandora box of questions, I guess. So probably I will look at it from more on the data perspective than metaverse or something like that.
Yeah, I was more curious about your forecast, actually. Not what's happening now, but your forecast, your anticipation, what will happen in the future with this technology. So like you mentioned, like your vision of the next Black Mirror episode.
I don't want to monopolize, but I can go ahead if you want.
I know you want to reply.
Now, I think, look, and I'll be brief. There is more data, okay? And it's just going to get worse in terms of more data is going to be produced. There is going to be more information, and it's going to bring a lot of troubles, I think, at some point in the very short run. And I'm not sure we're ready to face that from a legal perspective, from an ethical perspective. If I look at, again, the merge of technology into reality. If we look at anything that is related to spatial computing, vision, XR, whatever R you wanna name, it's kind of a blur space, but I think it's gonna be more and more converging towards a hybrid space rather than fully virtual. I don't think that is gonna happen for the next 20 years probably, but hybrid is the solution right now. If you look at metaverse, third bit, I don't think is anything relevant for the next probably 5 years, at least if not 10.
So what I'm really excited about as the world gets smaller is the average person doesn't get to make something from scratch. You might not think you're expert enough. And the best thing about like the perfume DAO is we say you don't need to be a perfume expert. You can be anywhere in the world and you get to make a perfume from scratch. You get to help out, be part of that from the beginning. And yeah, that's been a delight for me to see, and I like to see everyone in this room do it.
Yeah, I would like to add more on the spatial computing and on the side that we will see the change when many hardware technologies will be more affordable. And we saw the release this year of Apple Vision Pro, and so that's when the time when everybody started talking about spatial computing. Before we had like a buzzword metaverse, and now we have another buzzword spatial computing, but actually it has been already developed for years, like other big companies, like for example Lenovo, as well released their Lenovo AR glasses. They have like different models and they are even more affordable than Apple Vision Pro, but we don't really see a big adoption of those hardware devices because first of all, like just for the average person, they're still quite expensive, and everybody just adjusted to use their mobile phone or laptop to get the access to all the technologies. But from the other side, in the future, if we see these devices to be cheaper, people just would like maybe to experiment and to have those, and we will see bigger sales and bigger adoption of those devices. And as well, we see as well like Meta partnered with Ray-Ban, and they released now their glasses too. So that sounds cool when you can just go around and search something on the web through your glasses. And as well, another side is that you can, with AI technologies, you can recognize other people's faces and get the data. So it's another challenge about the privacy and etc.
Nikita, what's your forecast?
I think I already mentioned, I feel like, I think technology is advancing faster than the regulators can even grasp it. So, and I think that the regulation is very important because we don't know like how quickly this is moving. If you even look at something so simple as ChatGPT, the first edition versus this 4, it's like complete change. It's like a day and night difference. And I think what's scary is Sam Altman was in the same class and learned from this man, I think Jeffrey Hinton or something like that. He's the godfather of AI, basically. And he mentioned in an interview recently that he feels that Sam Altman cares more about money than the security and kind of the way that AI is moving. And I think that we have to be very careful. I think that founders and entrepreneurs need to kind of have a very ethical standpoint when it comes to this. You mentioned Black Mirror. This literally could be an episode of Black Mirror. Like, AI is advancing so quickly, and there needs to be some type of regulation to kind of just manage all of this and manage the founders and ensure that this is not just a focus on business and making money.
And I think it's a tweet of today, a post Elon Musk did today or a few days ago about the decentralization and AI. So
that he said he won the Nobel Prize, and it was ironically on that the godfather of AI.
And he said that basically we don't have to be scared about AI if it is decentralized. So because we are in the topic, do you want to say more about that?
I think we don't. I think blockchain technology / decentralization will help solve a lot of issues. We've spoken a lot about privacy and security here, but I think that's where blockchain comes in, gives everyone a little bit more transparency, a little bit more ownership. But how do you get the large conglomerates to give that away, right? Like, that's literally, data is the biggest commodity. So how do you get them to not have so much possession over your data? That's a tricky question, and I think that's where regulation needs to come in.
I just want to scare people a bit more, if you allow me. Just doubling down on what you just said, Nikita. How many of you took 23andMe, the test, the DNA? You know, the thing that tells you your ancestry and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah? Right. You know who's the founder of 23andMe? The wife of Sergey Brin, one of the founders of Google. So even when you get the whole blockchain narrative in, right, it's like, how do you even from a human perspective make sure that there is no other connections, other interest? Turns out 3 weeks ago, the whole 23andMe board, they resigned altogether. I mean, I don't want to get conspirational here. It's like exactly the same day that the news came out, but that's a different story. And again, how do we ensure now, where every single word is blurring in, like, how do you ensure that there is no connection between, again, the data owners, other companies, and, you know, so it just gets even more complicated.
The blockchain.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
no,
like that blockchain even tracks supply chain. Like, we would be able to track where your DNA is going, who is using it. Like, it needs to move on the blockchain.
Agreed.
Sounds a bit like a controversy around WorldCoin, which is blockchain project of Sam Altman that they gather these eyeballs data.
About this morning, actually, someone mentioned that now they abduct people to actually steal their wallets. So apparently they abduct them in the streets and force them to somehow look at this WorldCoin so they can steal their data. Like, it's very dangerous out there, basically.
Jamie, before you mention data, so I think you want to add something to this topic?
Data. Give me a hint.
I mean, and we were talking about the data, the privacy. You mentioned that before, so you want to add something to this topic?
So yeah, like being in control of your own data, that's a new concept for the world. Understanding what you can do with it, That's completely new. Like, if you're looking for a whole new industry, look at that. Look at what people can do with their own data. That's something I'm very interested in working on right now. So yeah, bit of alpha there for you.
Yeah, and I was also curious about your DAO. What's the lesson we can learn from the organization of a DAO in our daily life?
The lessons.
How we can use the lesson we learned in our daily life?
I mean, the biggest lesson is it worked, and that you can do it. Everyone in this room can do it. Our hardest problems were trying to organize like meetings in 3 different time zones, because we had people in America through to Indonesia. We had crazy problems like it cost us $300 in import taxes to the guy in Indonesia. But the rest of it, everyone can do. It was Miro, Notion, a designer, and a bunch of people with a bit of passion, didn't necessarily know a lot. One of the funnest things we learned was space has a smell. And that's the kind of thing you learn in these crazy groups. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you. So are there any questions from the public, from the audience?
At the back. Yeah.
No, I probably should take the microphone.
Hi. I'm wondering, with everything going on with AI and data, and since there's so much to kind of get into, how would you advise someone learns about AI and data without any like preconceived beliefs or notions? And you know, where do you kind of get the right information from if all these different people have different agendas?
I mean, you can come attend one of my lectures if you want. I'm very unbiased.
Yeah, because we only have 3 minutes apparently.
No, I think personally, look, like learning is a never-ending process. And the thing is, the more resources and the more sources you go and find, right, the better your information is going to be, right? The better your knowledge is going to be. There is no one unique source of truth, right? But also technology is pretty straightforward. Like, you know, you explain it once and that's it. When it starts getting more complicated, maybe you can find different school of thought, or you know, what is better? Is better supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement model, whatever. But it gets a bit more technical. I think overall, the more you inform yourself, the more you're able to build your own understanding of, you know, what it means. Like, and that's really what it is.
Okay, cool.
I would say take a scientific mindset. Your opinions and biases are fine, but take a scientific mindset and you'll adjust.
Okay. How can I find your lectures?
Yeah, I'll send you a link later.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Another question?
Do we have more questions from the audience?
Don't be shy.
Okay, then we have some time for...
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
to the
please,
panel?
yes.
So maybe you can tell me what you think. Do you think, because we have time anyway, let's make the most of it. So.
No, actually, it's not the correct time.
Oh, it's not?
No, that's why. No, we don't have 10 minutes.
Okay, then. I had a banging question there.
We still have some time for a really short question, though.
Real quick. Do you think if we were not to leave COVID, yeah, we would speaking about metaverse, virtual reality as much? So if we were not to leave the moment of society where we're kind of forced into entering the virtual world, would we be here having the same level of conversation, or would we be behind, forwards?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely accelerated like the thought of metaverse and companies coming up in the metaverse. I mean, we saw it with Sandbox, remember? I mean, the token skyrocketed, and now it's like the issue was that there were no users in the metaverse, and even now it's like a lot of metaverse companies struggle with that. But I think the metaverse is more than just a gimmick, and we've seen a lot of brands just kind of implement it because it's a gimmick. Like we saw Louis Vuitton, they have their blockchain to track supply chain, which is incredible. They have their NFT, and then they have a metaverse, and they have an avatar in the metaverse. So they've really, really implemented Web3, but not a lot of people know about it because people want to be the first to do it. And then when the audience slowly comes in, then I think it'll drive traction then. But I think we don't necessarily need to see it in comparison to something like Sandbox or Decentraland. I think we should see it in a way back to the case studies that I gave in terms of like education or healthcare or even kind of shopping experiences or kind of like because Nike had actually a very successful case study in the metaverse and NFTs, and they actually did $180 million of sales. So I think it just takes a little bit of time to get the users, but it's good for brands to be first mover. They have first mover advantage. So I don't think the metaverse is dead yet, but I don't think it's dead at all. I just think that we need user base and maybe more kind of experiences that blend reality and metaverse a little bit more.
I would say that we has always have been having metaverse, because currently we call metaverse everything, like we call games metaverse, and we can compare easily just traditional games like Roblox, Fortnite, Minecraft, and etc., which have just like Roblox alone has around 200 million active users monthly, and if we compare to blockchain metaverse companies, of course it will be like a huge gap, and almost nobody uses these blockchain metaverses. So it just it depends on the quality of the development of this or that game and the metaverse itself, and as well how it's easy to access for people, and as well like all these big gaming development giants, of course, have super big budgets in millions to promote their metaverses, to promote their games. So it's a big difference. And of course, with the COVID, just people started talking more about the metaverse and started calling everything metaverse. And even we can call Zoom metaverse. For example, Bill Tai, one of the seed investors in Zoom, told that like basically his life has always been on Zoom, because he has been investing into companies all over the world, and he just connects with all those companies via Zoom. And of course, with COVID, it was accelerated. But basically, everybody started using Zoom during that time, and we can call these just online calls as well metaverse. So it just depends what things we call metaverse.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for the panel.
Thank you.
Round of applause,
No
please.
time.
Come to memes and martinis on Saturday.